Imagine being considered so dangerous that the FBI believes you could start a nuclear war just by whistling into a phone. So feared that they put you on the most wanted list alongside terrorists and serial killers. So threatening that they keep you in solitary confinement for years, without a trial. Now imagine discovering that your only weapon was curiosity. This is the story of Kevin Mitnick, the hacker the US government turned into the greatest digital villain in history, until they realized they were chasing ghosts. You're about to learn how a teenager obsessed with phones became the most wanted man on the internet, how the FBI spent millions hunting someone who never stole a cent, and how the world's most dangerous criminal became the planet's most respected security consultant. If you want to find out how a 16-year-old hacked NORAD and nearly triggered an international incident, subscribe now. Kevin Mitnick, 16 years old, Van Nuys, California. While other teens were thinking about girls and cars, Kevin was obsessed with one thing: phones. Not for talking, for hacking. He discovered the world of phone freaks, people who exploited the telephone system using tones and frequencies. It was like finding a parallel universe where you could travel through phone lines. Kevin learned that a simple whistle from a Captain Crunch cereal box produced exactly 2,600 hertz, the magic frequency that controlled entire telephone exchanges. With a 25-cent whistle, he could make free calls anywhere in the world. But that was just the beginning. His first real hack was epic. Kevin and a friend disguised themselves as Pacific Bell technicians, physically entered a phone exchange, and stole classified technical manuals. At 16, he had secret documents explaining exactly how the US telephone system worked. Can you imagine a teenager physically infiltrating corporate facilities? Give this video a like if you want more shocking details. But Kevin's true talent wasn't in technology. It was in the human mind. He was a master of social engineering. He could call any company, pretend to be an employee, and get passwords, codes, full access. His most powerful weapon? His voice. Kevin discovered something it took decades for the industry to accept. The weakest link in any security system isn't firewalls or encryption. It's people. He could spend weeks trying to crack a password, or just call the help desk pretending to be a forgetful employee. Guess which method worked 90% of the time? At 17, Kevin committed the crime that would change his life forever. He hacked into NORAD, the North American Aerospace Defense Command, the system that detects nuclear attacks, the system that could start World War III. But here's the shocking truth. Kevin didn't know it was NORAD. He was just exploring military networks out of curiosity when he stumbled into the most sensitive system in the United States. He didn't do anything malicious. He didn't steal data. He didn't cause damage. He just looked like a digital tourist. To the US government, this was an act of cyber warfare. To Kevin, it was just teenage curiosity. First arrest. Kevin is sentenced to a year in jail for hacking into Digital Equipment Corporation systems. The sentence includes a bizarre condition. He's banned from using computers or phones without supervision. It was like banning a musician from touching instruments. Kevin tries to follow the rules for a few months, but the temptation is irresistible. He breaks parole and disappears. Thus begins the strangest fugitive life in American criminal history. Kevin doesn't rob banks, he doesn't sell drugs, he doesn't hurt anyone, he just hacks. He constantly changes identities, lives with fake documents, always one step ahead of the FBI, all to keep doing what he loves, exploring forbidden digital systems. Did you know Kevin once hacked the FBI itself to read their investigation files on him? Leave a comment. Would you live as a fugitive out of curiosity? For 2.5 years, Kevin is a digital ghost. The FBI assembles a task force of 150 agents to catch him. They spend $50 million. They plaster his photo on wanted posters across the country. And Kevin is having fun. He hacked Motorola's systems to read emails about himself. He broke into Nokia's networks to study cell phone technology. He penetrated Sun Microsystems systems just to see how they worked. He was like a digital librarian visiting forbidden sections. But the FBI didn't understand this. To them, unauthorized access equals criminal intent. They created urban myths about Kevin, that he could take down the entire internet, that he had backdoors in every critical system, that he could hack nuclear missiles by whistling into a phone. It was science fiction, treated as reality by the world's most powerful government. Kevin makes his fatal mistake. He falls in love with a woman in Denver. He breaks his own security rules to stay in touch, uses the same phone number for too long, and the FBI, using cellular triangulation, finally tracks him down. February 15th, Raleigh, North Carolina. 150 federal agents surround a modest apartment, as if they're capturing Osama bin Laden. But when they burst in, they find a 31-year-old man, alone, eating pizza and browsing the internet. The world's most dangerous cyber terrorist was just a lonely nerd. Kevin's arrest exposed something shocking about the US government in the 1990s. Total technological paranoia. They believed Kevin had supernatural powers, that he could start nuclear wars with phone calls, that he remotely controlled critical systems. Kevin was held in solitary confinement for 8 months. No trial, no bail. The official reason? He was too dangerous to have access to phones in prison. They feared he could hack the national phone network with a single call. It was pure paranoia, based on completely false technological myths. For 4.5 years, Kevin remained in prison, awaiting trial. No computers, no internet, no phones. For someone whose only weapon was technological knowledge, it was psychological torture. But something extraordinary happened. The global hacker community united. The Free Kevin movement was born. Hackers worldwide began defacing government websites with messages, "Free Kevin Mitnick." It was a cyber war, fought for justice. If you think curiosity should be a crime, give this video a like. If you think Kevin was wrongly treated, leave a comment. After years of international pressure, Kevin finally takes a plea deal. He pleads guilty to unauthorized access fraud. He's sentenced to time served, plus 3 years of a total internet ban. In the year 2000, banning someone from the internet was like banning them from breathing. But Kevin complied, and used that time for something brilliant. He began writing about his experiences, educating people about security, turning his curse into a mission. Kevin is released and does something that shocked the world. He becomes a security consultant. The same companies he hacked now pay him fortunes to find vulnerabilities. The most dangerous criminal becomes the most respected expert. Motorola, which he hacked in the 90s, hires him to test security. The FBI, which hunted him for years, consults him on cybercrimes. It's the most ironic turnaround in digital security history. Today, Kevin Mitnick is a legend, best-selling author, international speaker, CEO of a security firm. The villain became a hero. The criminal became a teacher. But the most important lesson isn't about Kevin. It's about technological paranoia. How fear of the unknown can turn curiosity into a crime. How ignorance can make innovators seem like terrorists. Kevin was 20 years ahead of his time. While the world barely understood the internet, he already knew our society would be vulnerable to social engineering. He was the canary in the coal mine of the digital age. His intrusions exposed critical flaws companies didn't know existed. His methods became the foundation for all modern security testing. The criminal created the cybersecurity industry. And here's the final irony. Today, the same techniques that sent Kevin to prison are taught in universities. Ethical hacking uses his methods. Security certifications test knowledge he pioneered. The villain became academic curriculum. If this video changed your perspective on hackers and technological innovation, subscribe to the channel. Kevin Mitnick's story is more than a biography. It's a warning about how our society treats digital pioneers. Until the next investigation. And remember, sometimes today's criminals are tomorrow's security consultants. And the difference between villain and hero might just be perspective.